I'm Daniel, the past life regressionist, and it's time to begin.
Lift off and the clock has started.
This is Timeless Spirituality. Enjoy, you can if you tell. Hey everyone, welcome back to Timeless Spirituality. It is time for a brand new episode, and this week I have Dana Marie back on, and as always, it's always a super deep and philosophical and interesting conversation when Dana comes on the show. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and I look forward to having Dana on again. If there's anything you would like to see her talk about, just go ahead and reach out to me. So with all that said, if you would like to book a regression with me to discover who, when, and where you have been throughout time, you can go ahead and reach me on Instagram at The Past Life Regressionist, or you can book through my website, thepastliferegressionist.com. And now, it's time to begin. Dana, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
Wonderful. Happy Sunday, everybody.
Well, it's Sunday for us, not for them. Well, unless someone's listening to it on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, but time's not linear anyway, so.
Yeah, okay, but we're humans, so we experience it as linear.
Happy today or tonight, wherever you are.
There you go.
How's that?
It's okay. You'll get it down.
Yeah.
So do you want to just do a quick reminder for everyone? Who is Dana?
I am a lawyer, philosopher, animal lover, deep thinker, big talker, and yeah.
Yeah, pretty much sums it up.
I mean, I've done this so many times. My elevator pitch is I think we're improving, right?
Yeah, no, you're doing well. That was good. Just for anyone who may be tuning in and listening to you for the first time.
I think I covered the basics.
I think they know who you are at this point, even just from that elevator pitch. That was great. Thank you.
The key points.
All right. So everyone, we're just going to jump right in. Dana wanted to do an episode on animals, and we didn't really talk about what direction we were going to go with that. It was just, hey, let's do about animals. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'll ask you a question at the beginning. I'm not going to tell you what that question is. We'll see if it opens up the door. And I've come up with another couple questions. But Dana, are you ready for a little story first?
Oh, yeah, I love stories. Please.
All right. So there is an expression that royally pisses me off. It's when I hear people say, a dog doesn't know that it's a dog. And my response to that is, how the fuck do we know that dogs aren't doing quantum physics in their head while they're licking themselves? How do we know that a dog isn't aware that it's a dog? How could anyone possibly say that a dog doesn't know that it's a dog? Dana, what you got?
Well, I think the first thing I would say is, who cares if a dog knows whether it's a dog or not? We all assume we're human because that is the general consensus. But, maybe we're all more than human. Maybe dogs are more than dogs. I see where you're getting with that, and I like the direction you're going. But for me, it's not so much about anything knowing what it is by definition, but it's more about whether animals or humans alike, just knowing that they are thinking, feeling, conscious, living things out there in this world, doing the best they can to survive, to make connections, and to thrive.
Well, do you think that animals possess consciousness the same way that, say, humans do? Or is it something entirely different?
That's a great question. How do you think humans possess consciousness in a way that animals don't? I'm sorry to revert it back, but I think the point I'm trying to make is that we make a lot of presumptions that we understand our own consciousness or what we as human beings are capable of. So I think that in order to make a comparison when it comes to animals, we really need to actually dial into the fact that, do we really know what we mean when we say that we are conscious?
I think that humans and animals operate slightly differently. As you and I have talked about before, from what we can observe, animals don't do anything maliciously. When an animal who is a predator goes after its prey, that's just what they were designed to do. Whereas humans, we often operate with some selfishness or some self-serving tendencies or in the pursuit of power. Now, I think that there are certain animals that have packs. So maybe there's a leader of the pack. And then, of course, there's like the lone wolf. But nonetheless, I think that there is something inherently different about the pursuit of existence for an animal compared to a human. I think that we have different lessons that are in play. And hell, I don't even know if animals have lessons. But as the years
I
have
think that's fascinating.
as the years have gone on, my cosmology has shifted when it comes to reincarnation with animals. For the longest time, I didn't believe that humans would reincarnate or incarnate as animals and vice versa. But I've come to this place now where I think that there is some crossover. I don't know if there's necessarily a spiritual hierarchy in that sense where we could say, oh, once you've been an animal, then you get to become a human. Because in many respects, I believe that animals are more advanced than humans.
I find that all very interesting. Can I ask you one very important question?
Just one?
Just for now. One for now.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
worry,
good.
I'm full of them.
Yeah.
So, how many animals have you spoken to or interacted with in order to gain this opinion that animals and humans are that much different in their pursuits, their goals, their level of self-awareness, etc.?
Well, I have never had a conversation per se with an animal.
Bingo.
I just
That-
look at the totality of observable animal actions. I mean, I don't know what's going on in the rainforest in Africa or South America. Who knows if they're talking to each other there? If they're speaking a new form of English.
Well, let's look at people. Let's look a long time ago, okay? Let's go back to the friggin' Neanderthals.
I thought you said the time isn't linear.
Okay, but we understand it in a linear fashion, and we can speak of it as such. But
Yeah, well, I prefer
it doesn't
that.
it benefits me now to say time is linear.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
we
so
also
when it benefits you, that's
Yeah,
okay. Okay,
yeah.
I'll give you that
no,
one. Okay,
but,
what you got?
I
Yeah.
do think time is not linear, but I also believe that like we were designed to experience time in a linear fashion, and that's important in its
I
own
concur.
right. But let's go back to the Neanderthals, or just shift our perspective to the Neanderthals right here and right now, somehow all existing in this giant circle and web of all that is, all in the present place. Now, if you were to think about Neanderthals, would you agree that a lot of their behavior was a lot more what you might consider animalistic, more about self-preservation, survival, hunting?
Well, from what we understand about them, yes. However, I see where you're going with this, and I'll put the caveat in that I don't know any dogs that know how to makeshift a weapon.
Well, they don't have fingers, so that would be really hard to do, in all fairness. But if we're going to talk on that front, maybe let's talk about things that maybe animals and humans can both do because they both have the actual physical faculties to do those things. Like I can tell you that most animals dream. Dogs most certainly dream,
How do
just
you
like
know?
humans. It's a scientific fact. There have been scientific studies done on dogs
Okay, I stand
that
corrected.
shows that dogs, in fact, dream. They have the same brain waves that are activated. I can't sit here and give you a whole scientific breakdown,
That's okay.
but it has been proven that they do dream. And in fact, even dogs that go blind, they can still dream. They can still process. Also, a lot of animals mourn. For instance, elephants absolutely
I
mourn.
was ready to say that one.
Yeah, see, you already knew it. They mourn just like we do their lost loved ones. Even do things that are kind of ritualistic. And
Well, for that, can
make
I jump in
certain
really quick?
vocalizations. Absolutely, please.
Because I'm sure some people are even wondering right now, how do we know that elephants mourn? For that one, it's because elephants in the wild have been observed going back to the site of their fellow elephant, whether that be their children or parents or whatnot, and going to the location where the remains were.
Well done. They sure do. And I mean, animals also, I think we all know, any of us that have animals, that they all love, that they all feel pain,
Mm-hmm.
that they all are able to form connections with both humans and other animals alike. So while they can't forge a blade or forge weapons, they don't have fingers. Who knows what they could do if they did? I think that it's not only fair to say, but it's the truth that animals and humans share a lot of similarities. And I think similarities in the ways that are the most important and beautiful. I think the things that make us the most proud to be human, our capacity to love, to feel, whether it's good feeling, bad feeling, pain, to form connections, to mourn, to form families, to form packs, whether friends or family or otherwise. I mean, like, those are the things that truly define what it means to be human. And so many of those important fundamental things we share with animals. And that's a fact that I think people are going to be really hard pressed to deny.
Well, what do you think animals are aware of that humans may not be?
That's a good question. I don't know what they might be aware of that we're not. But if we're going to talk differences, at least for me, animals don't seem to have a desire for vengeance. They don't have a capacity for jealousy or rage or the needless taking of a life. I'll say murder. I think there is one species of animal that actually does kill for no reason. I can't remember which one it is.
Was it the
And I mean,
orcas?
it might, I don't want to say because I can't remember for sure. I know, I mean, we can even talk about sex. Ooh, we're getting naughty. Where most, where all humans have sex for pleasure. Dolphins are, I'm pretty sure, the only animal species that also has sex for pleasure. For them, it's about making new life, reproduction. Animals are also, they have an innocence about them. And I think it's really hard to put into words, but there's a certain purity there, which a lot of people might also equate with a lack of self-drive or self-understanding. I don't think that's the case because they've got to have self-drive to pursue self-preservation and to want to form connections. And not all animals want to form connections. Many, like the possum, I love possums. Sorry, overshare. But like possums, they prefer to remain solitary. But a large majority of animals have a desire to be together. And a lot of times it's family driven. Other times they form packs, they form connections, call it friendships. But other animals to walk through this great, big, crazy, chaotic, beautiful life with.
Do you think that animals incarnate intentionally?
Did you incarnate intentionally? Because if you did, I would love to hear about that.
Oh, I believe that I did.
What do you form that belief on?
I mean, I think a lot of that comes from sessions that I've done with many people who have seen themselves in the planning process for the next life and saying, oh, this is why I'm going to be born in this place. This is what I want to learn. This is what I want to accomplish. And being born into that family will help me accomplish this and that
I think
location.
I think that animals have just as little of a knowing or understanding of that as any one of us do. We can want it and we can believe in it, but can we
Well,
know
that's
it
on a
with
very
any
human
degree of
level,
certainty?
though, because when they're on the other side, before they come into this life, I don't know if they're over there as a dog or if they're over there. I mean, I believe that at that point, we're just energy. Maybe we're like little balls of light or little, I don't know, like we have an awareness of other presences around us, but I don't know if we're walking around like humans.
I mean, I've had lots of dreams with animals that I feel a deep connection to. And I wouldn't be surprised if I've been around in some kind of animal form before, after, during, in some other place while currently existing here in this nonlinear life. You know what I'm saying?
So then what might be the purpose of experiencing reality through the lens or the life of living in an animal form?
Oh gosh, where do I begin? Pick an animal. There are so
Let's just
many
start with cats.
beautiful things. Oh man. Well, they can hear absolutely everything. The way they can move is absolutely unbelievable. They are extremely resilient, amazing predators. I mean, where do I begin? They can hear, they can sense everything in a way that we can't. They can feel vibrations, with their whiskers are more reliable than their eyeballs. And they still have eyeballs too. We don't have whiskers. To be able to move through the world like that, jump like that, hear like that, feel like that, walk through the world like that. Pretty
So
cool.
you're saying the purpose is just to have a different experience?
I mean, you are the past life expert, but isn't that kind of the purpose of past lives, other lives? Isn't the purpose to have different experiences, to learn different things, to view life existence and the world as we know it from different places, different perspectives, as different people, or maybe different species, in order for our soul to grow, to evolve, to learn the lessons it needs to.
All right. So with that, do you think that animals can recognize us beyond this lifetime? Or when they come into a new life, do you think that they have the ability to recognize those they've been with before?
I don't know. I certainly would like to think so. I know that my connections with my kitties and my doggy Saki, who passed, but it was literally love at first sight. And for my cats, Jonah, Manola, and Socrates, they came into my lives and I came into theirs at such important crossroads. And not just in my life, in theirs too. Like, for instance, Socrates, he was the runt of the litter and he was very difficult and didn't know till after I got him he had epilepsy, had seizure disorder, ended up going blind. And he was also kind of grumpy, but he was perfect. And I don't know how many other people would have been equipped or wanted to deal with that. But I was so in love with him. And as soon as I laid eyes on him, I knew that was my dog. And my God, do I love him. But the other half is he came into my life also when I needed a connection like that. I had lost a baby and he was my little man. You know, it almost feels like he stepped into that role for me. And he brought me so much peace and so much comfort and so much joy to my life. And facts are, we both needed each other. It was perfect. And so if that perfection means that we've got some other past life connections or otherwise connected to each other, then yeah, I would say we do. Jonah's an even better story, but I might have already told that one.
Do you think that animals help humans evolve emotionally and spiritually?
Absolutely. Because every single animal, I call them family, that has been in my life for however short or however long a time, has absolutely helped me in the deepest of ways. And I wouldn't change it for the world. I am so grateful for the animals that have literally walked into my life, walked into my backyard. It's funny, Jonah, my 30-pound Maine Coon, walked into my backyard out of nowhere, literally 2 days. Sorry, guys, I've already told the story, but literally 2 days after I said a prayer to God after a bad breakup. And I said, God, please send me a man, a strong man that's going to love me for who I am and just always be by my side and love me for just exactly who I am. And wouldn't you know it, 2 days later, 30-pound Jonah walks into my backyard out of nowhere. That was like 8 or 9 years ago. And let me tell you, that big man, he loves me for everything I am. And he quite literally never leaves my side, which is unusual for cats. And I can't just write that off as coincidence because not just logically speaking and because of the amount of time and what I asked for, but because of the feelings that come with it, not just for me, but the connection I have with him. And I know he loves me, no words necessary. Like we've got a strong bond. And I don't know exactly what that means, but what I can tell you is animals are not just animals. And the one phrase that I hate most whenever I'm talking about any of my members of my animal family is It's just a fill in the blank. Dog, cat, bird, hamster. I don't have a hamster or a bird, but it drives me crazy because I think anybody that's taken the time to actually connect with an animal and form that bond knows that it is never just a whatever, fill in the blank. It is so much more than that. And I think there is so much more that we need to explore when it comes to animals. And the fact that maybe they're not just animals at all. Maybe, in fact, maybe they're not less than us, but maybe they're even more than us in the most beautiful of ways. After all, they're not capable of doing a lot of the premeditated, twisted, and or manipulative things that a lot of humans often do. Not all of us, but humans are capable of that kind of stuff.
Well, other than a predator circling its prey, that could be a little bit premeditated, but that's just their
food.
instinct.
That's to get food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think that humanity's relationship with animals will change as human consciousness evolves?
That's a good question. I think that depends on each and every one of us humans. I think that there are a lot of people that don't really appreciate how magnificent animals are and don't appreciate and recognize that they feel love, they feel pain, they crave connection. I mean, look at the people, and I'm sorry for anyone out there that does this, but actually, sorry, not sorry. If you have an animal head hanging on your wall because you hunt for sport, shame on you. And I am not sorry at all for saying that. I said sorry, not sorry. That's a big not sorry. I think there's a divide with people when it comes to animals. I think a lot of people really feel that love and understand that connection with animals because they've actually allowed themselves to experience that. I think there are a lot of people that are kind of indifferent, just focused on their lives. They're too busy for animals, too busy to take care of something else. Understood. But for all of you folks like that, give it a try. It's totally worth it. Totally worth the effort. You can still do everything else. And then I think we have people that hunt for sport that are cruel to animals because they just don't give a shit. They don't see them for all the beauty and magnificence that they are. And they don't see them as conscious creatures capable of experiencing pain and love and sadness and isolation. And for all those people out there, actually, I think a lot of people do know that, and they still hunt for game or are cruel to animals. I'm not done yet. Sorry, because these people really piss me the fuck off. So for all those people out there, karma's a bitch and God is watching. God created the animals before humans, after all, if you believe in the Bible. And he definitely didn't make them so that you could kill them for no reason and put trophies of their heads on your wall. Anyone that does that absolutely disgusts me. And I'm just going to say it's a slippery slope. People that are capable of stuff like that, who knows where that'll go. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're dating or interacting with somebody that has animal heads on their walls, watch your back. Sorry, obviously I have pretty strong feelings about this, but that's full transparency.
If anyone listening has an animal head on their wall right now, or you are dating someone who has an animal head on their wall, or a family member, and they would like to come on Timeless Spirituality as a guest, I would love to have them on to have that conversation. And don't worry, Dana will not be here for that one. They will just be talking to me.
Oh, no. In fact, if you would like to come on Timeless Spirituality and talk about your justification for taking innocent life for sport, not for meat, not to consume, not to use, but because you want a trophy on your wall, I will absolutely be here to talk to you if you so dare, because I would love to hear. I would absolutely love to have a conversation with you about why that is something you should be proud of, why that is a healthy behavior, why that is not cruelty, and why that does not make you a sociopath or psychopath or
all right, let's find a middle ground right now.
I'm just saying.
If you
ladies and
want
gentlemen,
Dana to be here for that conversation and you would like to have a debate with her about it, you are more than welcome to request Dana's presence. If not, it will just
I won't be
me.
too rough. I won't be too rough, but I will be honest. And if you're going to stand by your ground and your viewpoint on that front, then I would invite you to have the balls to have that conversation with me. So
I would second that one.
saying.
If you're looking to have a conversation, it'll just be us. If you want to have a debate about it, I'll bring Dana on for that one too.
Oh, no, there's no debate. It's cruel. It's twisted. It shows somebody that has no respect for life. So, but hey, I'm open for anyone out there's alternative interpretation on that front, although I cannot fathom an explanation that will make anyone that does that look like anything less than deeply troubled at best. We'll leave it at that. Okay, I'm rant done, but seriously, if you're going to come on and you want to talk about animal heads on the wall and hunting for sport, at least have the courage to talk with me about it. Okay, rant done.
You good?
Now it's really done. I think so. I think I've made my point abundantly clear.
On that
I don't
note-
like people that do that. It's disgusting. There's no purpose. It's just you are killing, you are taking life, you are causing pain for sport. It's not a sport. Taking life is not a sport. It's sick. Okay, now I'm really done. Sorry.
And on a future episode of Time of Spirituality, the metaphysics behind reaching someone, meaning whose approach works better. We can have that talk in a different episode. We're not talking about animals and consciousness. So
Well, the type of people that have animal heads on their walls will probably definitely have an overinflated confidence that is big enough that they will want to talk to me. And I'm really hoping that's the case, because bring it on. I'm ready for you.
Okay, also, I'd like to take a poll right now. Who do you think would have a better chance at reaching them? Me or Dana?
Okay, this is actually fun. So how would you reach someone that does this? What would your strategy be? I am like literally dying to know, because I can only think of one. What's yours? How would you reach them? This is fun. We might have a really fun next podcast episode. In fact, it'd be
I'm not
fun
going
if
to
there
give
were-
away right now. I could tell you about it after.
It'd be fun if there were multiple animal murderers that just do it for fun.
Sure,
so they
we'll
can
do
have
a
literal
series
heads
out
on
of
the
it then.
wall. No, all at once.
Something
dude.
tells me that there's not
we
a lot of...
tag team them.
Yeah,
We
like I
tag
said,
team them.
I have a feeling there's not
Both
a lot...
methods.
Huh?
Both methods. You and me tag
Okay.
teaming a bunch of animal murderers for sport.
Something tells
yeah.
me that there aren't a lot of Time with Spirituality listeners who are hunting for sport. So I think we'll be lucky to get one on the show for that.
Well, you want to know why this will tie
Either
back?
that or I'm going to have to go looking for them and I have to go find
No, please don't do that. But you want to know why this
Maybe
does tie
fine.
back to spirituality
Huh.
and even
Well,
the
I could
philosophy
see
and
exactly why it would tie back to spirituality.
because it will help us understand what it means to be human even more. Because like we want to look at all the beautiful things, the beautiful people, the people that, are all loving and wonderful and in touch with all this stuff. But if we want to actually get spiritual and understand human nature and where we come from and what triggers us and what makes us good and what makes us otherwise, whatever those terms mean, you have to look at the entire gambit. You have to look at the whole pot. You gotta look at all of it. Even the sick, twisted motherfuckers that kill animals for sport. Okay, I'm going to stop that. But I'm just saying, to understand how someone like that can justify it, that in and of itself is a huge insight.
You just gave me a
into
great idea. I'll tell you in a
Aspects
second.
of humanity and what a lot of us might view as the darker parts of being human. I certainly view that as one of the darker parts. I'm sure everyone out there that hunts for sports says it's a sport. It's not dark, whatever. But still, I think it's spiritually and philosophically huge. And I would also love to talk to one of those people or multiple at the same time. Bring on as many as you want. I don't care. I have a lot to say to them.
We'll make it like a jubilee.
Yes, please. Please, let's do it. Jubilee. Name the time and place.
With that, everyone who's listening, if you would like me to invite Flat Earth Dave back on the show, but have Dana subbing in for me, let me know if you'd like to see that. I kind of would.
I got a few things to say to that lovely gentleman too.
He was a
Really
lovely
nice.
gentleman. I didn't agree with most of what he said, but I did think he was a lovely gentleman. I really did like him.
Dude, he's spewing to the world that the earth is flat. And the biggest problem is that a lot of people are buying it.
Yeah, I know, but you and I have we have opposing views on some things, and I still like you. I said on a personal level, I liked him.
Well, you can like people all you want on and off the podcast, but if you're going to have a podcast where you're talking about serious spiritual, philosophical, deep issues that matter, it's important to be responsible and have those debates, have those discussions that are hard, because the responsibility is to the public. The responsibility is to the people listening. And
I agree.
I think you got to be true
I did record
to yourself.
That episode was recorded 3.5 years ago, even though I just released it less than 12 months ago. But nonetheless, I think I would handle it a bit differently now, but I still think I handled myself pretty well on that one.
You did a great job. You did the best you could with somebody like that. And, not wanting to rock the boat too much. I'll rock the boat kindly. And as an attorney, I don't think that in fact, I know it's completely possible, especially with people that are somewhat reasonable or decent, to have a debate that might even get a little bit heated. And then afterwards, to be like, hey, no hard feelings, great conversation. Like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Like, I have depositions all the time, and I'll get real heated on the record. And opposing counsel and I will be going back and forth about actual real issues. Then as soon as we're off the record, it's like, hey, how's your baby? I heard you just had a baby. What's up? Like, what are you doing this weekend? So it's like,
well, that's because it's sport to you people.
No, it's not. I actually take my job very seriously as an attorney, and I have to uphold the law, and I have a duty to my clients to defend them, to the best of my abilities in accordance with the law. And opposing counsel has the same responsibility. And sometimes it's not always a clear-cut line on that front, much like most things in life, spiritual things, philosophical things, and all other things. But I'm just saying
that's another episode we're going to do, the virtues of being an attorney. We'll get to that one now. That'll be an interesting one. Like, where's the moral line drawn?
That's a good, that'll
Back
be a good
to animals.
I'm not even quite sure myself, but there's
be
a line
fun.
somewhere.
We'll do that. Maybe I'll invite some other attorneys on for that one. Maybe I'll jubilee all of you.
Yeah, make sure you let me know what attorneys in advance. I might know them.
Well, I mean, if you know any, let me know. Like, we'll talk about that off air.
If
Anyways,
not,
I have a question for you about animals. This has been fun.
Sorry, I did not take that shit. I would like to talk to Flatter Dave, though. I think that we could have a very good conversation about all the flaws in his logic. Just like he's internally inconsistent many times, and the science he uses is very selective, and like his own scientific theories, they cave in on themselves oftentimes, like his own theories. And I don't even have to freaking prepare. I just have to listen to what he says. Like when I listen to your podcast, and he's not even being consistent with himself. And like I would maybe he'll make me believe the earth is flat. Who knows?
Hey, I went into that recording open-minded. I was like, if he can present it to me and I actually believe what he's saying, sure, I'll believe that the earth is flat. I wasn't convinced by the end of it, though. I still think the earth is round.
Some logical consistency, or some logical internal consistency, meaning him being consistent with himself, would be a good start. But hey, I would love to hear it. And
like I said, I liked him though. On a personal level, I liked the guy. I just don't agree with him, but I still liked him though.
You want to know what my biggest question for him would be?
Okay, don't worry, he's not going to listen to this episode. What would be your first question?
I don't care if he listens. Hey, Flatter Dave, I hope he does, because I would like to talk to him. No, but my question would be, as such an advocate for Flat Earth, like, why has he not gone on an expedition to walk to the edge of the Flat Earth?
I could tell you that.
And
I can answer that for you right now.
End of it.
Do you want me to tell you?
Oh God, please. He has an answer for that?
I believe that according to his model, that Antarctica is not actually just the South Pole, but it is this ice barrier that is erected around the perimeter of the Earth. So it's not just in one part, it's this ice wall that surrounds the Earth. So you
Okay,
can't go
so
past
climb
it.
that shit with your ice pick and find the edge. Why hasn't he gone on expeditions? He's advocating for this, and there's not just one edge. Okay, we got Antarctica. How many other sides are there? Does he say it's a circle? Is it a circle flat Earth? Is it a square flat Earth?
Yeah, it's like a disc.
It's a disc.
Yeah.
So he just chose Antarctica. Well, what about
Well, I don't think that was
other...
his model. I think that's one that he adheres to. Because from what I understand, there's a bunch of different models.
Well, he hasn't gone on any expeditions.
See, there's not even
the edge.
There's
Earth,
not even
right?
consensus in the flat Earth community of how flat the Earth is and how that actually works.
It's a simple question. Go on an expedition. If it's flat, there's an end, and you'll find it. Bring your ice pick, bring your snowshoes, bring your summer clothes, and go everywhere. Find all the edges. Or
that sounds like some
ends.
sound logic, Dana.
Well, anybody that's like, listen, people are into Egypt, and so they go to Egypt. You know, they're archaeologists. They
Look,
go
if you
out
circle
there
the
and
Earth enough
explore.
times, you're going to hit the South Pole at some point.
Does he believe in gravity? Does he believe there's a flat Earth, but somehow there's still gravity?
It's been a while since I've listened to the episode. I don't know if there was a consensus on gravity. I remember he doesn't believe in meteors, though.
He doesn't believe in, like, there are no meteors?
No, there were no asteroids. No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, we got really far off topic with animals, but I would absolutely love to have a conversation with
So anyone, if you want to hear that, reach out to me and I'll make it happen.
Oh, man.
Wait, Dana.
Yeah. What?
If I schedule that, can I get you to commit to it?
Yeah, I'll commit to that one. I mean, now I'm just curious. Is there gravity? Where are the asteroids? Why haven't you gone on all these expeditions? Because if it's flat, then you should be able to go find the edges.
So, all right, everyone, and I bring that up because when Dana and I record these, we usually just do it. Well, it is always off the cuff. I don't think we've ever once said, like, we're going to record a podcast on Tuesday or something like that. It's just like, oh, let's go record right now. We're on the phone or something, and you're like, hey, do you want to record now? It's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, what do you want? Oh, it's about animals. I'm like, okay, I'll think of something. I'm not going to tell you what, but yeah.
Yeah, because I like animals.
That's kind of how it works.
Yeah, we were going to talk about war at first, but then I realized I thought I had one like view about the metaphysics and like war in general, philosophically, spiritually speaking. And then I realized that like that was a little skewed and that maybe I don't feel that way. And I was just getting really deep in thought. And I was like, let's just change the topic because I'm going to have to like roll this one around.
That's going to be a good one when we do that one.
Yeah, I'm still spinning with it.
Anyways,
you know?
So I can get you to commit to that right now if I schedule it.
Only if people want to hear it. I don't want to just talk to that
Dana,
fool.
People still reach out to me about that episode all the time.
Did they tell you what a good job you did?
Actually, yeah.
You did a good job.
Thank you. I appreciate
awesome.
that. Okay, you can stop now.
I have
I know
so
what you're doing.
many questions. So many.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, like, only if people are interested. I feel like I'd like to talk about things that are more important and like, I don't know, like closer to like reality, you know, like things that matter, not the earth that's not flat, unless he can convince me otherwise. But only if that is something that people want. Otherwise, I think I'd like to stick to topics that I think are a little bit more important.
All right, last thing I'm going to say about that one. When I had originally recorded that episode, he brought up what he called Montevideo. And it felt
Montevideo,
Uruguay. Dana, you ruined the punchline. Why did you do that?
No, edit this out.
Why?
Go ahead,
I was
punch
really,
it. Punch it.
Because then it's not authentic.
It. No,
all
okay,
right,
but
so let me just tell the story really quick.
Okay, punch it.
Thanks for taking the punchline.
Sorry,
thanks.
You got this. You can edit this out.
You suck the fun out of it. Well, I can't because it's not authentic then. Anyways, so he referred to Montevideo, talking about a flight from, I think it was Los Angeles to Montevideo. And then I parroted that. I kept calling it Montevideo, even though I looked it up really quickly on the internet, like, where is Montevideo? And of course it came out because I spelled it Montevideo. And then when I told Dana about it after, she said, it's Montevideo. You know, my grandmother was from there. It's like, of course it was Montevideo. And I kept calling it Montevideo after he did. I felt like such an idiot after that one because I pride myself on being a bit of a geography buff. How did I not know Montevideo?
Because you assume that Flat Earth Dave, who has this grand knowledge of the shape of the planet, would probably know how to pronounce the most important quote unquote places to support his quote unquote theory.
Can you imagine if I
No.
knew that at the time? I was like, Dave, it's not Montevideo, it's Montevideo.
Fair assumption on your part. He who is making this giant geographical claim about the shape of the freaking Earth should know how to at least pronounce the places that are at the heart of his theory. So it was not a fault on you, although it did make me cringe every time I heard Montevideo. I'm like, it's Montevideo, Uruguay. It is not Montevideo. And I don't even think there are any direct flights to Montevideo either.
Well, there aren't. And he had a reason for that, which
He did.
well, I
What was
call
that?
BS. Well, because the Earth isn't, or because the Earth is flat, because it's, yeah. And I mean, to me, there was a very simple explanation, which is it's not a very big city.
He found a secret pilot to fly him directly to Montevideo
We talked about
because
someone
the
having a
Earth is
compass on it
flat.
or something. Whereas for me, I
Oh,
went and looked up
Jesus
the
Christ.
population of the city, and it was abundantly clear to me why there would be no direct flights going from Los
Yeah.
Angeles to Montevideo.
There might be now, but there weren't last
Unless,
time I
oh,
visited.
no. I take it back. I'm sorry. There was no flights going from, was it Sydney? I think that may have been it. No flights going from Sydney to Montevideo, if I remember. Or it was either that or Brant. There was some flight from Sydney or Perth or something like that in Australia. But nonetheless, even if it was to Sydney, it made total sense to me why there would not be a direct flight from Montevideo to Sydney. It's
So he
a
went-
very far flight distance-wise, and Montevideo is not that big population-wise.
So he went to Montevideo, but he did not go to try and go on an expedition.
Well, I don't
to
think he
find
wanted-
where he's
no,
going to
he-
fall off the end of
He
the
didn't
flat Earth.
mention going to Montevideo. This was just an example he was bringing up as to why the Earth was
Oh.
flat.
So he hasn't gone on any expeditions.
Well, I don't know. He
He's
didn't-
this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
If you
that's
go-
my first
anyone-
question.
Anyone,
first
if you
question
go
to
and
him.
listen to that episode, if you haven't listened to it yet, he throws so many statistics at you and quote unquote facts that it makes it very, very hard to focus in on one. So I can understand how people would be very susceptible to his message because they don't have time to process everything that he's saying. So you're like, oh, I can see that. Oh, I can see that. But if you actually take 5 seconds to think about it, you're like, yeah, that's a bunch of bullshit. And that's why he didn't like it when I held him to the fire on a couple of those where I'm like, because he kept trying, oh, let's talk about this. I'm like, no. We're talking about this right now. We're talking about this route. We'll get to that one. Oh, no. Let's talk about this emergency flight from Dallas to Beijing and why it had to land in Calgary. I'm like, okay, we'll talk about that next. But right now we're talking about this flight from Montevideo to either Sydney or LA or wherever it was.
There you go.
He didn't like
that.
that.
Boy.
He didn't like that. So we'll get to that, Dave. We'll get to that.
And we're not, I wanted to be clear. We're not trying to shit on Flat Earth, Dave. I just,
No, I
would
admire,
love-
honestly, everyone, I have to say this, I admired his tenacity, his convictions, and I admired his debate style too. It was
Yes.
very effective.
I would love to talk to him. Flat Earth,
Yeah.
Dave, just so you know, heads up. If you ever hear this, if you dare, my first question is going to be about all your expeditions. You better have been on a lot of expeditions if you are this serious about this, not just freaking conspiracy theories and stuff you found online from probably sources that are not reliable. I want to hear about your personal excursions and expeditions to validate and verify all the things that you so strongly stand for. And,
Okay, we know
it'll be
how
fun.
Dana will approach this. Anyways, again, I'm just going to reiterate, I liked him on a personal level, and I really do appreciate him taking the time to come on and talk to me about how the Earth is flat.
Allegedly flat. What are we going to call this episode? Animals, War, and Flat Earth Dave?
Probably
Shit.
something like that. I don't know. I'll figure it out when I'm editing it. Okay, Dana, are you ready for the last question?
We're already to our last question. We didn't even wrap up animals. They're amazing.
Well,
They
this
have
was-
souls.
Wait,
They're incredible. Everyone
Dana,
needs to have one.
Dana.
If you hunt for
Dana,
sport,
Dana,
fuck
Dana,
yourself.
Dana,
Yeah.
let me be the host.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's right. You're the boss. This is not a deposition. It's not my deposition. It's your podcast. Okay. Ready.
By the way, we're 50 minutes in
Sir.
right now on our
Huh?
recording. It may be a little less for those listening right now. Have you ever felt that an animal has truly seen you beyond your personality?
Every single animal I have ever been close with, loved, the ones that have been pets, and even many animals, wild animals outside that I have made eye contact with that come back and visit time and time again and recognize me. And there's a bond when you make, well, obviously our pets, we feel that bond, but even wild animals, when if you make the eye contact and you actually notice them, it's unbelievable. Even something like a possum. They're my favorite. I rehab wildlife, which I know I said in a prior podcast, but that's why I know a lot about wildlife. And even possums, which, ladies and gentlemen, are not rodents. They're marsupials, more closely related to kangaroos than rats. It's amazing. But most people don't take the time, even with wildlife, to look that animal in the eye, to talk gently to them, to observe them, to appreciate them, to see the way they interact with the world and with others of their own kind, unless they're solitary. But the answer is yes, absolutely. And I think that if people take a few seconds whenever they come into contact with any animal, and now I'm specifically talking about even the ones that aren't your pets. We all know with our pets, but the ones that aren't our pets, if you take the time to actually observe them and listen to the sounds they make eye contact, like watch their behavior, I think you'll all really realize how incredible animals are and how much they truly have to offer this world and how much they truly deserve our love, our respect, our protection, just our appreciation for everything they are and the instrumental role they play in this world, not just for us, not just for each other, but for the world in general. And animals, every animal has a role in keeping this beautiful, round earth healthy and thriving. And I just say, pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. Let an animal into your life. And if you really do, you'll totally get it. You'll totally get it. One of those things that has to be experienced. It's not just something that can be said. But if this podcast has anybody out there observing, bonding with the wildlife, or getting themselves a pet of their own that they're going to love the shit out of, then that's all that matters. Get out there. Love the animals. Let them love you.
Fellow time travelers, your journey through time awaits you. Just want to thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. And if you're interested in discovering who, when, and where you have been throughout time, and you'd like to book a session with me, just go ahead and send me a message on Instagram at The Past Life Regressionist, or you can reach me through my website, yourpastliferegressionist.com.